Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode, again, another interesting episode about interviews. I've got an interview with more of my friends that from the past, and we would talk about older times, different things about anime, and of course, some of the history that has passed along the way. All right. Before I begin, I'd like to remind people to go down below and click like and click subscribe. Even if you want to leave a comment below about this particular video and some opinions that you have, by all means, that does help the algorithm for YouTube. If you're interested in supporting me financially, I have the links for the super thanks as well as the PayPal and Patreon links below, where you can subscribe and get the special content that I cannot post here on YouTube. Again, there's a list with the link below of all the various different episodes I have for the History of Fan Anime, as well as the extra episodes that are available to the subscribers. And then it covers a lot of the content that, again, just YouTube just won't allow me to talk about. So, all the extra content is there, all right? So, in today's episode, we're going to have an interview with my friend King. We get together once in a while and basically go over different things. In today's interview, we can go talk more about that. Okay, so without further delay, let's begin.
What I missed, like compared now to back in the day, because kind of pre-internet or beginning of the internet age, we had a community. I remember you found the Vancouver Japanese Engineering Society. Help us, we bring the blank VHS and you help do those fence up, and it's for free, copy the share the joy, share the anime. And back then we have this community, almost like a comradeship, like we're helping each other to get those resources hard to get. And I remember back in the day, first we went to like Sophia bookstore, and then later on the Iwase bookstore. And even the hobby stuff, in the beginning it's really hard to come by. And later on, because more and more Asian immigrant in Vancouver, so kind of small business pop up here and there, a little bit more accessible, but still, it's hard to come by. You cannot just click and order stuff, say from Hobby Link Japan or Mandarake. No, you have to actually write the letter. Order something, you actually write, send. I don't know how that works, but somehow people have to send some, whatever the bank draft, whatever mail there, and order something.
Okay, so King touches on the topic of money transfer and currency exchange. So one of the things that was always a big problem, especially consumer level, was there was no services to help with the transfer of funds between here and Japan, because they obviously don't, they work on a totally different system. They don't use like Interact or Star or anything like that. So using money through like bank kind of transfers doesn't really work. They don't really follow and use credit cards, so a lot of people don't use like a Visa or MasterCard. So that doesn't really work. I said bank drafts are usually is like the last end result. Bank transfers are usually and drafts are a bit of a difficulty because of usually the exchange, and of course the service charges according to do like a transfer between different banks, because a lot of stuff hasn't been set up financially to get those things done. So in the early days, for those people who really wanted to get something, and even when I was, just deluging into, Yahoo auctions and that kind of stuff for getting stuff from Japan, I really had the result of just sending money in an envelope. Basically going to my local foreign exchange place, which gave me a pretty good exchange on the Japanese yen. But again, I had literally had to take like things like Christmas cards and that kind of stuff, shove the money into like actual cash in the envelope, and actually send it off that way to pay for my auctions and that kind of stuff. And it was really difficult. And I can see where people who had relationships of people that are in Japan who have some sort of interconnectivity, like who might already be using like a MasterCard or that kind of stuff. You can then give them money onto their onto the charge card, or you can make arrangements to send them money via a bank draft or something like that, or maybe when they come over, or they still have family here. We can give them money that way, right? So they still have their foot in both systems, as it were. But for people who are like, who are totally in Japan and like totally independent of the outside world, there was really no real easy way to get money in there. So the early days of trying to get stuff from Japan was definitely difficult. You really had to know someone on the inside to get that done.
There's some female back in the east, I think in Ontario area. Over here, you just mail, like, I won't charge you, you just mail the blank VHS. I will help you type all the culture map. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, it's very nice of you, right? But the mailing cost is a lot. I will try to find whoever local has it and try to borrow it. But I very appreciate. But see, back in the day, people don't really know each other. But if you have shared the same hobby, you feel this kind of, oh, you are my comrade, you're my bro, you're my sister. I'll help you out, right? And people get so excited when they have common topic. I remember I talked to some guy, I'm Asian and he's white. We first time met each other. For some reason, we're talking about part labor, and this guy goes so exciting, like I'm the lost brother for him, right? Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, you know the part labor, blah 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 blah, right? So exciting, right? And say, oh, I got this kid, I gotta show you, right? It's so hard to get, it's reason for no, blah, blah, blah. And we don't have that kind of thing anymore now. Everything's on the internet. You click it, you get it.
King points on an interesting point that I did on a recent interview for a podcast, and the question was what made you go and do these fan subs and that kind of stuff, and basically offer all these services for really no charge. You just basically charge for some return postage, and you're willing to give these people some videos and that kind of stuff of anime. And he kind of points this out. I don't even know why I really did it. It's just the fact that I really wanted to share my love for anime and this sort of thing, to other people, right? Because as I said, if it brought some sort of excitement or something of joy to me, I think that it could also do that to everybody else who views it and sees it and is equally entertained and intrigued in that way. And really, the only way you could really do it is you had to, you were really willing to share it. If you had gotten some new anime and we've recently fan subbed it, I want to make it available to everyone and let everyone see it, right? Because otherwise, in the early days of when we were doing anime and that kind of stuff and collecting anime, one of the biggest hurdles that I've always had. Not so much personally myself, but just trying to make this hobby available to other people, is that people just had a lot of problem getting past the language barrier, right? They realize it's Japanese animation, it's cool, it's got topics and things that we've never seen before. It's got animation quality, that's way better than some of the stuff that we've seen here. They just don't really know what's going on. Like the language that's spoken was really a big hurdle to get over. Thought to a way to overcome that, and even just with that, I really felt that I was helping the community and growing the community in that way, just because I knew that we were onto something really big. We just got to figure out how to kind of technologically get through it, kind of idea. And there's many ways that we've come up with, but definitely fan subs was definitely one of the least one of the paths of least resistance for sure.
No human contact required unless people are on internet. People hide behind alias. You don't have to use your own real name. You look at it, you don't know that's man, woman, or anything in between. You don't know. Yeah. People on Discord, anonymous. No need for human interaction. Actually, if someone wants to initiate some human interaction, people will be alarmed. Like, why you want me, right? Yeah. Like you build a community.
Yes.
You create a community. Even after VGS, because the internet no longer need the VGS, old timer we still meet, like friends for life.
Yes, exactly.
So I remember I met Hugh at one of your shop VGS event. Back then he was still a high school kid. Mm-hmm. Now he's 30-something years old, middle-aged guy. Yeah. You're still friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
King touches on that fact that yes, our community is one of the things that that has an everlasting effect after running the store and of course doing all the anime things. We still keep in touch with each other and we still get together for like annual barbecues or Christmas dinners. Obviously, we have the big November birthday gatherings and things like that. So we do keep in touch, and we also have a really nice circle of friends that we could keep together. And it all started because we went together and started doing this thing called anime. And again, I don't think we have that same kind of connection and that same sort of community in the modern day. I'm thinking of like the people who do the Warhammer
Yeah.
and Space Hulk and all that
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
Games Workshop kind of stuff. Do you have many of those people in the modeling club and that kind of stuff? Do you do that kind of stuff?
I do know some of those people, but apparently those tabletop games like Game Workshop, they do a lot of airbrush, but hand painting. So they buy those small figure, almost like a chess piece. They paint it and play on tabletop. I do know a few guys in my modeling club are into tabletop game, but I think market is fairly segregated because a regular model kit is already very demanding on the time, right? It's choosing time and space. You have the space to put it after you finish it. True. So people tend to have modeling hobby. Very few of them have enough space and time for those tabletop games. And people play tabletop game. It's more of the social thing because you play with other people. Where modeling is more solitary. You're by yourself. You're sitting in front desk and put things together.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of different, but the tabletop game like Game Workshop is combined with figure painting and the tabletop game. You can play with it with friends and other people. It's a little bit different market, I would say. But yeah, I totally see why model kits is kind of sunset hobby. It takes too much time and effort to do it. And the whole thing is about the process. You enjoy the process to create painting something. Because once model kit is built, that's it. Sitting on the shelf, there's nothing much you can do. The Gundam kits, being a Japanese mega, you kind of can play with it, try to pose it. But other subjects like tank, ship, aircraft, once you build it, it's static. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
So the whole thing's about the process, not ending result. I can see why. Too demanding. Younger generation, they don't have the space anymore, especially in a big city like Vancouver. Real estate is so pricey. How many younger generation can afford a big house with big basement? Mm-hmm. Not much. That's why here the railway modeling is kind of dying because nobody has a space to put a proper layout for the railway modeling, right? For train to running around.
Especially the larger scale one.
Yeah, with the diorama, right? Yeah. The town, the mountain, the scenery. Mm-hmm. You need a big table for that. Like you have a empty space, empty room, fine, right? But when you live in a one-bedroom apartment, no way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the big, when you get to the larger scales like G and HO scale, smoke.
Yeah.
Like how do you find the room to do that?
Even I found out, it's sadly, if I don't build a model kit, keep in a stash, keep in a box, actually easier to store. Once I build it, I run out of shelf space pretty fast. So what happens, quite often I finish something, I give it to friends' kids. Okay, you can play with it. I have no place for it. So, that's the thing with modeling. You need time and you need space. And building a proper, nice-looking model kit requires effort. I totally can see why now the hobby shop, selling more figurine or pre-made stuff like Choco King. It's pre-made, it's painted, it looks nice. You don't have to do deco or sticker. It's even more space efficient. If you don't want to play with it, put back in the box and put it away. In order to merchandise to success, they have to somehow keep pushing out the new media or new content to keep things kind of fresh or keep it at least alive. Like the Disney, they try to push this Mickey Mouse for 80 years. Mm-hmm. Mickey Mouse still, making money, for Disney. The other Japanese hobby model company, Tamiya, is the biggest traditional subject modeling company. All the tank, aircraft, cars, this and that. and the chairman of the Tamiya, well, Mr. Tamiya himself, joined the annual Shizuoka Hobby Show. Also mentioned this as a chairman of the Japanese Hobbies Industrial Association. He said he noticed for every year this hobby show, people participate, come to the show, getting older and older, and seldom to see young blood. So basically, back in the 80s, the same 20 years old young people. Now it's the 50 years old, oji-san. Basically, same group of crowd come to the show. So he say, if we don't attract the young generation, we are in the sunset industry, right? So that's why this is an interesting case. And out of blue, there's one Japanese animation called Girls on Panzer.
Yes.
Talking about the girls driving tanks, right? And Tamiya was never into this anime promotion thing, They always stick to the, military stuff. But the funny thing is, because for some reason, the Girls on Panzer, lots of younger generation watch it and think, it's so fun, so cool, right? So they start to find the tank kits. And the guy I know, the younger guy, 20-something, he never built tank. He also built Gundam model kit, but because he watched the Girls on Panzer, I decided to give a try on the tank kit. And I saw this article report in Japan. This one odd Finnish tank called BT, I forgot, BT-40 or BT, whatever. There's only one company making that tank kit. It's Tamiya. And that tank being such a niche market oddball was never big seller like, say, German Tiger tank, right? Biggest seller everywhere. And that Finnish BT tank was pretty much sitting on a shelf. Only people are really into this niche thing, they will buy it. Because the Girls on Panzer show, this one school, represent Finnish school, had this BT tank. That tank was sold out in Japan during that showing. Anywhere like Amazon Japan sold out, everything sold out. Tamiya was taken aback. What happened? So many order for this tank was never a big seller, right? Yeah. And then turned out, the kids watching Girls on Panzer and they want to buy that Finnish BT tank. So I guess, why the Tamiya's marketing is shrinking? Sure, Tiger tanks, cool, Panther, I bought them all, Zero Fighter, Yamato Battleship. But how many of those kids we're going to buy, right? You buy one or two. But I noticed whenever there's a big World War II movie come out, those kids, model kits start sell. For example, that very famous Saving Private Ryan, or Band of Brothers, when they were on, showing, people will go, oh yeah, I saw this in the movie, so cool, I'm gonna buy it. I'll buy this tank or buy that aircraft. But it doesn't last because you don't see that Band of Brothers every year, right?
Right, yeah.
That
kind of movie every year,
So that's the thing with difficulty with Tamiya face. And Bandai, because they control their own IP, and they can design whatever they like. They don't have to be accurate or face for the original because, well, it's not real, right? It's fiction. They do whatever they want, whatever that's easier for them to make a modeling mode.
Okay, so I hope you found that really interesting. And I always find it really interesting, to go and talk to some of the old people because they always bring up stories that I sort of sometimes forget, or I don't quite have the exact wording sometimes because I don't want to say something in regards to in about someone's story. When they can say it properly themselves, because I might get some details wrong or whatever. So it's always better that you get the information straight from them, as well as it's they always have some different perspective that maybe I just kind of forgot about, because so much time has passed. Sometimes I tend to forget them. So it's always good to to have a good conversation about that. Again, I will be doing more of them, so stay tuned for that. All right. So until next time, I will see you again.